Hi, my name is Yeliz Esaryal, and I would like to introduce to you the course Information Systems Management. Let me first introduce myself to you so that you know a little bit about my background and what to expect. Just like you, I am also a business student. I was also a business student. Um, and after that, I followed with a master's and an MBA in information technology, and followed by a PhD in information science and technology. My industry experience was mainly in the form of IT consulting and project management. And what I like to do is to bring that experience to you in terms of different stories that relate to our topics that we cover in our book. In terms of teaching, I've been here in Groningen for the last 5 years, and I have 5 year teaching experience also in executive level, also in other European countries and in the U.S. Because my work experience in the industry was typically from American companies, those are the examples that I tend to use more often than not. So before we go on into how we develop this course for you, I'd like to come back to the definition of an information system so that we have the same starting ground. If I were to ask you what an information system is, I would probably hear things like it, databases, technologies, the software, the hardware, the network as being elements of an information system. Those are good guesses because they're making the technology component of information system. But if you look at the slides, you see that information system has both a social part, social components, and technical parts. So with respect to the technical system, we have the technology that we just mentioned, but also the process that the technology is built upon. When we look at the social aspect of the information systems, we see organizational structure making a huge impact on information systems, such as organizational hierarchy, organizational rules and norms, and um, and elements such as information technology project management structures. And lastly, but not the least, people also make up a part of the information system because people use technologies in an intended way or in a different way, and therefore they oftentimes change the processes, change the technologies through their use and adoption. So our course objectives are really to teach you about information systems and strategic aspects of them. So in this course, you will learn about how to combine IT strategy and business, but also um, aspects such as how to design and redesign business processes when business processes don't work anymore. And you can actually use these kind of hands-on skills when you begin your work experience. We'll also learn about project management. Within the course, we have 3 case assignments, and through participating in tutorials and to doing the case assignments, you will actually learn about how to write a structured case report, how to report in a business setting, and through presenting a case study, you will get more experience on your presentation skills. Well, why do you need such a course? You might ask yourself that, especially if you're not interested in working in the information technology area. Well, one important reason is that you are digital natives. So you're individuals who have grown up completely fluent in the use of personal technologies and the web. And so we expect your generation to increase the adoption of new technologies and push organizations to do more with technologies. in that sense, you can't really not say, I don't understand from information technology. You should actually at least be able to research into the subject, find out what's useful for you and your organization, and even teach the ones around you. Oftentimes in the companies that I work for, I found that people who are doing marketing management, who are financial managers, who are human resource specialists, they end up having to make decisions specifically about information technologies because they want to use these technologies to be more successful at their job, to learn more about human resources, for example, to come up with better marketing strategies, and to disseminate their marketing ideas to the world very, very quickly. So, regardless of what you are going to be when you get out of this university, you will actually also have to be a little bit of an information systems expert. So I really hope that you will take this course to learn about information systems enough that you have some ideas, and when it's needed on job, you can do the research and, just like we're doing in the case studies, make recommendations and support these recommendations. With that, let me talk a little bit about the course structure. So if you were an executive of information systems, the first thing you should know to be successful would be that information systems, strategy of information systems, should be really highly aligned with the company's strategy. You know, during the dot-com era, people sometimes came up with the idea being, oh, technology is this really cool thing, and therefore, to be successful, technology should inform company strategy. So we should find really interesting, cool technologies, high technologies, and then we should then build upon them a company. Nowadays, we know that this doesn't work so much that way. In fact, we see technology, even though I'm very much a proponent of IT use, and I'm a big user myself. What I believe is that, and what the research shows, is that company strategy comes first, and then your strategy about how you will use information systems, which information systems you will buy, depends on the company strategy. So with this idea, we formatted the course, we structured the course around this idea. And so what we do is we start off jumping into the technologies. So next week I will come and I will talk about various information technologies such as cloud computing, virtualization, enterprise systems, business intelligence, knowledge management. So big data, these kind of terms and technologies that you keep hearing all the time, but maybe that you may not know exactly what they are. So we will start with these. In the following week, my colleague Echon Berghout will put this this whole thing into a framework by starting us on the company strategy and how it informs information strategy. So this way we will have a good basis as well. Interesting start, and then a good basis, good foundation. Then we will talk about each of the 4 elements of information systems. So we cover subjects like, on the structure level, we cover subjects like, how do you govern IT? How do you manage IT projects? How do you form an IT project organization to manage multiple projects in the company? On the people side, we will cover leadership, management theories that comes from the book. We will combine it with the leadership techniques that you can use in the now from the latest research. We will have a session on privacy and ethics, that side of information technology. And we will actually finish off with talking about business processes. How can you develop a good process that works, and when it doesn't work, when your organization has changed. How do you change that business process? Now I want you to take a look at the course plan. If you do that, you will see that we have organized this course to be very, very compact. So next week I will talk about the key technologies, and then my colleague Professor Echon Berghout will come and introduce you to your first case assignment. Your case assignment is due very quickly on the 11th of September. So therefore, 2 days after the case introduction, you will have the opportunity to visit Professor Berghout in his office and ask him questions and you'll have to schedule these visits through secretaries. But these kind of dates are all in your course plan, course manual. Similarly, right after you're done with doing the first case and going through the first tutorials, I will introduce you to the subject of IT project management. Again, 2 days later, you will have the opportunity, if you have more questions, to come to my office and to ask these questions. Again, a week later, you will submit the cases. We will have the second tutorials doing the second case presentations. The last cases will be on business process reengineering by Professor Laura Maruster. And she will also have the office hours to, if you want to ask questions. It's a bit later, so we have more time this time between your case presentation and the time that the cases are due. So I hope you take a note of these dates in your agenda so that you can follow the course, but really start the course from the first session on. Start attending and start reading the book and the cases. So here I have a list of the cases. The first one is about strategy and information technology by Dr. Echon Berghout. Will help you with this case. The second case is about project management, and I will be in charge of that case. And the third case will be about business process reengineering. The case is going to be done by Professor Dr. Laura Maruster. So the way we organized it is you have the lecture by that professor, you'll have the explanation of the case, and then you have the opportunity to ask the same professor questions. Then you have the tutorials by the same professor, and the grading is also done by the same professor. So each case is assigned to one of us, and if you have any questions about the cases, the case grading, any aspect of the case, please ask this to the relevant professor. Well, here's our course book. It's called Strategic Management of Information Systems. It's written by two fantastic scholars, Carrie Perlson from Harvard, and Carol Saunders. I know her personally. She's actually a very well-known researcher of many years in the field. The course has the course book has some disadvantages. It is small, and it has fewer pictures. We've decided you're adult and you don't need pictures, but I know that it breaks the book a little bit. It makes it less boring when you have the pictures. However, this course book is the best one in terms of the content. So it is really up to date. It has the latest research involved. It has the latest technology in it. So and because it doesn't have pictures, it's smaller to carry, and it also is cheaper for you. So I really hope that you value the contents of the book and really read the book. We actually cover everything, including the introduction chapter, except for one chapter. That would be chapter 9. Your case studies, you can actually go to Nestor and click on the course information, And you will find a link to buy the first 2 cases at a discounted price. So this year we're asking you to buy the cases online. The reason is it's becoming almost half price for you, and it's also easier and cheaper for us because sometimes not all students buy the cases, and it then there becomes a negative experience because we've already bought the cases. If you just click on that link, you can go. That takes you to the Harvard Business website, and you have to register really quickly. It takes only a few minutes, and then you will see the 2 cases that are assigned, and you can just proceed to checkout, put credit card information, and buy it. If you don't have credit card, I'm sure you can arrange with your friends that one person can buy it for 3-4 of you. And the cost of the cases they come to almost like €2 per case, so it's a cost of a cup of coffee. Now that we covered more technicalities, I'd like to talk about a little bit about how I teach. What I like to do is to cover the highlight of the assigned texts, either in the book, or you will also have text on the Nestor. Please make sure to also look in the Nestor section for that week. And I like to highlight them instead of covering all of them. And the reason is, if I had covered only what's in the text, then you really didn't need me. You're very smart people, so you could just read the book. So what I want to do instead is cover a little bit of it, and making you responsible for all of the text, but in addition to it, cover something that's advanced. So maybe I take something from my executive courses and teach you some of the things that the executives learn about that are also important to you. So we will have 2 aspects of the presentations. And when I teach, I like to teach by incorporating experiences in the form of stories. So these stories are story-based teaching is it makes things more memorable, but you can also kind of relate a little bit more. Instead of seeing a line from the book, you actually hear how it's done in the company and how people react and the weird things and the unexpected things that might happen when you're trying to do the right things sometimes. So when you listen to those, please listen with the mindset of, what does it mean for me? And what did I learn? And sometimes if you just miss it, you could raise your hand and say, well, what was this? What is the real learning behind this story? Why did you just tell us this? And then what's important, the way we teach by doing cases, so that you also have your own hands-on challenge, as if you were sitting in a business and you try to deal with it as if you're a business analyst. So learning by doing is important to us. Lastly, I specifically like to do interactive classes. So it's not, please don't come to the class expecting that you would just sit there and be bored, but try to answer questions. So I will be asking you questions on, what did you read? What did you learn? What was interesting to you? What was not interesting to you? What do you disagree on? So I will ask such questions, and I hope that you raise your hands and participate. And I know it's tough being in a class with, being in a large class with other students. It's not something that you're used to doing, but try it. We do it in a very friendly manner. Even if I call on you, if you don't know the answer, that's quite okay. You can just say, I don't know, I don't have any opinion, and then we'll just move on to the next person. In terms of expectations, my expectations is that you come to class ready to discuss, having read something. Even if you haven't had the chance to read, you can think through things, ask questions, and just relate on your own experience. Let's discuss a little bit about the grades. Your grades are distributed among the cases. So you will submit 3 cases, and the grade components are listed in the course program. You also get about 10% of your grade from the case presentation. You will submit all of your cases to successfully pass. You'll present only one of the cases, and we also hope that you attend all of the tutorials. The exam makes up about 40% of your course grade, and we have good news. You don't need to, in order to pass the class, you don't need to get passing grade from all of your cases and all of your exams. You can get, if you get an average of 5.5, and if you submit all of the cases and join the exam, then you will pass the course. But you will only receive your final grade after you finish all the course requirements. And the grades that you're getting from any component of the course are valid only for this period. So if you have attended the previous year and you haven't completed, or if you do only partial cases this time, unfortunately your grade from last year doesn't transfer to this year, and this year doesn't transfer to the following year. So I recommend that that you decide whether you want to do this course this year or not, and then finish it when you take the course. The good thing is we have also bonus points. So bonus points mean we give them for filling out surveys. Specifically, there will be surveys following each of the case studies, reflecting back to your case experience. And there will be a survey preceding the security and ethics class, security, privacy, and ethics class. So your contribution to these surveys are really important to us. Therefore, we're giving you the bonus that will add 5% to your exam grade. So if the exam is 100 points and you do the bonus points, you'll get if you do the surveys, you'll get 5 more points. Unfortunately, there are no partial bonus points, so you'll really have to fill out all the surveys to get the bonus. And given that we're giving you a really nice bonus, we really hope that you would give us a few minutes of your time and fill out the surveys genuinely and not just randomly click on numbers. About the exam. So the course will have a multiple choice exam with 40 to 60 questions. The questions can come from this book. They can come from the readings on Nestor. They will also come from the discussions in the class. So 20 to 40% of the exam questions will come directly from the discussions in class. And lastly, they will come from the assignments. In the previous years, we have just kept the assignment grades separately, but you guys seem to want to be also graded from the assignments in the exam, so we will also provide that. In terms of who exists in this course and whom to contact for what, we have 3 professors: myself, Yeliz Esaryal, Dr. Eichhorn Berghout, and Dr. Laura Maruster. We are the 3 instructors helping with the course. In addition, we have our secretary, Iris. So Iris can answer questions on teams and team scheduling and to make appointments with the lecturers. And each of the lecturers will answer questions on their own lecture content, the case studies that they will introduce, the grading of the case studies, and the tutorials that they cover. So you know now whom to contact for which kind of questions. But of course, if you can't come to class and you have to miss it for some reason, I would recommend that you get in touch with your colleagues and especially your team members. So you can let team members know that you won't be there, so that if they were planning on discussing the case, while after the class or before the class. It would be good for them to know. And also you can ask for their course notes, and you can say, hey, can you take detailed course notes for us? Let me tell you a little bit about the practicals to end this story. To enroll in the course practicals, you need to go to the Nestor website and click on Team Enroll, and there you will find teams that are listed in terms of their start dates. So the good news is, if you sign up for a team where the start date is 9, then all of your tutorials are at the start hour is 9, then all of your tutorials start at 9 a.m. on Thursday. So also by signing into the right team, you also determine when you will do the presentation. You will find in the Team Enroll page that there's an Excel sheet that shows which teams present in which week. And so if you go to if you signed up for 9 o'clock, if you go to the row for 9 o'clock, you'll find that if you're in the orange, one of the orange teams, that is when you will present. If you decide to not take the course now or during any point, please unenroll from the teams and enroll in the team that's called non-participating students. And also let our secretary know and let your team members know that you have to quit the class. This way you will help your colleagues collaborate successfully within the projects. So well, this is the end of the course introduction slides, and I hope that by doing this you're now informed about the course, and when you come we can directly start with the material. I wish you a very wonderful semester. Thank you.